Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show for you today. Oh, yeah, the Meltdown games. Let them begin. It's all this weekend. Now, there are a couple of games, actually 3 games that are going to be serious meltdown type games. And what I'm talking about there, that if your team loses, and you know who I'm talking about in the 3 games I'm going to show you, the fan bases are going to have a total meltdown. Now, some will be epic beyond belief, and 1 or 2 will be kind of, bad. And I'm going to rank them from 3 down to 1. And the one that's obvious is going to be huge. Now, there are 2 other games that are not on Saturday that are not going to be included in this, but they could be meltdown games for sure. And I might cover them later. And that's Sunday, USC versus LSU. That could be a meltdown game for both those teams. And then Monday, oh man, Boston College, FSU. If FSU, for some reason, they're not going to lose that game, not against Boston College. But if they did, there are no words to describe the meltdown they'd have. But they're not going to be included in this list. I'm going to start out with number 3, and that's going to be Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. That game's at 7:30. It's going to be very interesting to see. You've got Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus Texas A&M and their new coach, Elko, who I think is a darn good coach. Now, quarterback-wise, Notre Dame has Riley Leonard, very good player. He played at Duke. He can take off with the ball. He is sneaky fast. He looks like he wouldn't be fast, and next thing you know, he's 50 yards down the field, and you're like, I can't catch this guy. He doesn't look fast. Anyway, he's a darn good quarterback. This is his first year at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's doing the bring the guy to the transfer portal deal like FSU's been doing. And Texas A&M, they've got Connor Wagman. Wagman's a very good 5-star quarterback who can't stay uninjured. And that's tough because he's darn good. Had he stayed healthy last year, Jimbo Fisher would still be your head coach because y'all probably would have won at least 1 or 2 more games. But that didn't happen, so you went and got a new coach and you paid Jimbo Fisher $76 million not to coach.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Now, I think Notre Dame will win that ball game because I don't think Elko's had enough time to get his system in, and Texas A&M's got a ton of talent. They're going to be a very dangerous team over time. I just don't know that Elko's had enough time, and Freeman's been there a while. So I like Notre Dame in this game with Riley Leonard. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas A&M won, though, because they do have the talent to match up with Notre Dame. So that's number 3. Number 2 on this list, and this is a big one, baby. Clemson versus Georgia at noon, the high noon kickoff.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Oh, yeah. We're going to find out whose huckleberry is who. This is a fantastic game. I can't wait for it. Clemson is a good quality ball club. They are turnover prone like crazy. If they turn the ball over anything like they did last year, they will have no chance in this ball game. You do not turn the ball over on Georgia. They will take advantage of it every time. You've got Carson Beck at quarterback. He's rock steady. They're always got just the ridiculous tight ends. They just turn them out like a conveyor belt over there at Georgia, and it's going to be tough. Clemson's got Klubnik, and he looked like a guy that I thought was going to be really good with their new offensive coordinator, but he's kind of struggled turning the ball over, so that could be a disaster right there. Hopefully Clemson will give them a good game. Georgia's favored by like 2 touchdowns. Clemson's not been given a very good chance in this. We'll see how this plays out. I think that if Clemson stays close, their fan base will be fine. If Georgia just whoops them by, 25, 35 points, it's just multiple touchdowns, Clemson fans are going to be upset because last year did not go the way they expected it, and they've been giving Dabo a lot of grief. And as a matter of fact, he's not even taking callers anymore on his radio show because people give him so much crap, and he doesn't like that. So this could be a meltdown game if Georgia were to run off. Now, if Clemson beats Georgia, look for some melting down in Georgia land because that would be a big shocker. It'd be a big-time upset, and Clemson has a lot of talent. It would not be impossible, especially if it's a low-scoring game, because Clemson's defense is pretty darn good. So this is going to be a very exciting game. I think Clemson's going into it like, maybe we can give them a good game. Maybe we can pull this off. And Georgia's thinking we just need to whoop up on these guys. So that's my number 2 game. And it's the big game of the weekend. Now we're going to talk about the number 1 meltdown game. This one, regardless of who wins, one fan base will lose their crap. I mean, they will lose it like you cannot believe.
Remain calm. All is well. All is well.
You've got 2 coaches, both of which have not been very successful. They've been there for 2 years each. They both struggled. And, of course, Billy Napier at Florida and Cristobal over there at Miami. Now, Miami's been very busy in the transfer portal. They've brought in a bunch of good players. Cam Ward's going to be the quarterback for Miami. Graham Mertz, who's a real solid quarterback at Florida. This is a guy that I gave a ton of grief to when they brought him in out of the portal because he came from Wisconsin, I believe it was, and he was not performing very well there. But he came into Florida and threw for like 73% completion rate. Now, he doesn't throw the ball downfield very much. He dinks and dunks, but he doesn't turn the ball over, and he plays really smart. He's kind of a game manager, and he played better than about anybody expected. And Cam Ward's a fine quarterback. I think that was a real good pickup. That's really who I thought that Florida State should get, or they should have gone after Brock Vandagriff, who was the backup quarterback at Georgia. He went to Kentucky. I would have gone after him. But Cam Ward was a good pickup. And here's the determining factor to me. It's a 3:30 ball game. It's at the Swamp. The one positive is it's not at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, you do not want anything to do with the Swamp. The Florida Gators have a tendency to get fortified at that hour.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
No. Oh, no, sir. Oh, no. No.
Yeah, they knock back on Grandpa's cough medicine. It just gets ugly. You don't want to play at the Swamp at night. But at 3:30, at least the sun's up. They're not going to be too wacky. Well, I should take that back. They'll be pretty lit, but not as bad as they would be at night. Miami's favored in this game, which surprises me. I'm leaning towards thinking Florida's going to pull this off because that Swamp's going to be going nuts. The team hasn't struggled any this year. It's brand new. It's exciting. And nobody's down on Billy Napier yet. So I'm leaning towards thinking Florida will pull this off, maybe by 2 or 3 points. But I can tell you, whichever team doesn't win, it's going to be get the guillotine out. And they're going to, especially if it's Billy Napier, it's going to get ugly because this is not your ordinary game. This is in-state rivalry. And I've told you folks, you don't know what a rivalry is until you deal with an in-state one. It gets ugly. The Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, Clemson, and Florida State, for example, well, this is Florida, Miami, and it's very similar. It's going to get nasty. These teams don't like each other. The fan bases don't like each other, and they're going to rub it in their face if they lose. Which is going to make the meltdown even that much worse. So easily, the number 1 meltdown game of the weekend will be Florida and Miami, and I'm here for it. I'm going to watch the crap out of that game. I can't wait for the Clemson-Georgia game, but this one, Miami-Florida, oh man, is it going to be something. Now, my team, the VOLS, we're playing UT Chattanooga. I'm not terribly concerned about that one. Now, if we lost to UT Chattanooga, you'd see a meltdown no other world has ever seen. But we won't be losing to UT Chattanooga. It's just a matter of how many touchdowns we win by. And there's going to be somebody in the comment section, you better not look past UT Chattanooga. You remember Austin Peay last year. We only won by a couple of touchdowns. That's because we couldn't throw a forward pass. We had to throw 11 straight bubble screens because for whatever reason, Joe was struggling that day. That's not going to happen with Nico. And, we're going to win easily. It's whether we win by 30 or 40. So just you can go in the comment section, and that way maybe the 1 in a billion chance we get beat. You can see, I told you so.
Hey, that hurt.
But it's not going to happen. Anyway, those are your meltdown games this weekend. And like I said, I may very well cover that Sunday and Monday meltdown possible fest. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these big sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, boom. Helps you get my videos. Makes it super easy. And right over here is a video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. Something to do with the algorithm. I don't know how the algorithm works.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
Anyway, we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.